Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome. It's the Ben and Jen show, but tonight, it's not the Ben and Jen show. It's the Ben and Harley show because Jen is still caught up in her day job. So she sends her regards to you all. This is an extra special show. This is not the Sunday show. She'll be back Sunday with us, but she just apologizes and she sends her love to everyone that's watching. But that she can't be with us this evening. So that's a shame because I know a lot of you love her and want to plug in to see her. But Harley, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. We just got a lot of great news from Lumenswap. Some interesting stuff that just came out. It's not even on our roadmap. Definitely want to get into it and talk about what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get straight into it. For those people that are looking right behind me just here, by the way, I've bought a mural canvas, they're called, right? And these are all NFTs. So first things first, I want to shout out is to, or I want to do is to shout out to Sacheesley and Andrew. I think it's Andrew Dixon on
Ink.
It's what? Sorry,
AKA Ink.
Yeah, that's it. Ink on Lightmint. The NFTs that you're going to see, rolling through are mostly Sacheesley's, but we've also got Sussy, who's part of our community team that's done some of this artwork as well. And like I said, Andrew. So all of you guys that are contributing towards the Lumenswap machine, I mean, I'm totally indebted to you to get this. And some of them are the wrong size at the minute. There's got to be a little bit of, resizing and a bit of tatting around, but essentially this is going to be hanging on the wall in the Lumenswap lounge, where this artwork that you amazing people are creating is going to be there for guests that are going to come here and talk to me about crypto and going to see this stuff. When I do live streams and I get set up properly, this will be in the background, so it'll be an advertisement for you guys, right, for your stuff that you've got on Lightmint, and I'll keep shouting you out. So thank you very much. If you want any of your works to be on the show, right, then please, by all means, hit me up, DM me, and get me something over. It has to be in the story format, so I believe that's 1080, 1920, isn't it? I think that kind of ratio. They're like Instagram stories. That's the size of the canvas. So if you knock anything up and you want something as like a marketing before you do another drop, an NFT drop, by all means, I will put it up there for you so that people can see the quality of your work. I'll also bring that canvas closer so that people can actually see it rather than it being a bit distant at the minute, because I'm still in the transitional period. So cheers for that.
That thing is next level. I can honestly see like the art world in the future. We'll be going to museums and they have things like that with like the original apes and the original CryptoPunks and all of the original NFTs will be featured in a museum like that.
I saw one earlier, mate. If people go to it's spelt, just so you know, MEURAL. Put that into Twitter. Go to their thread, and if you go down a little way, you'll see this hand, like a video hand, on one of these screens. I'll try and get something hooked up that's like it, and it's not just stills that you can do. You can do like these kind of video images. And I tell you, like you say about next level, I was looking at it thinking, whoa, that is some cool graphics that are going on there, mate. If you were sat in here, you'd be kind of mesmerized by looking at it. It's amazing. And I know that the talent out there, I mean, they're just a couple of the guys, aren't they, that are on the Lightmint platform. I mean, there's so many talented artists out there that it's,
I like that Nettie too. And she got the new Catwoman Lucy that just came out. And we're going on that too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I did. I forgot Nettie, another class artist who has been doing some crazy things. Her and Ball Runner have been putting together some, incentives for people, and he's going to be burning some LSP. And like, I actually, mate, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Harley, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I'm mind blown, like a little bit. I sometimes have to stop and kind of like touch wood and kind of, touch my head, make sure it's actually reality and it's not virtual reality. Because for the 3 months that I've been involved in Lumenswap, it's like, I mean, you think about this artwork, mate, the quality of this that's coming out, the quality of the work. Today I was just to digress a second. Today I was approached by Vlad because he needs a little bit of help in the front of house relationship building, promo marketing side, because they're doing obviously all the dev stuff and they need to weigh off a bit of the work. And he said, I need you to speak to and have an interview with, I can't name drop at the minute, but like with this like top crypto publication. And I was like, whoa, like you want me to speak to them? Like, do you know what I mean? I was like, whoa, I went and said to my wife, I was like, Cal, Vlad wants me to kind of like speak and, promote Lumenswap to this really well-known publication online. And the woman who's the editor who I'm speaking with has like connections to like, Cardano and Ethereum and like the big boys and their founders. Wow. So I'm thinking, this is like, that kind of stepping stones that you take. And this 3 months, whether it's artwork, whether it's connections, network, incentives, features, I just sometimes stop and just go, this is just crazy.
Only 3 months into it, and this is a long-term project. You see how Vlad and the devs, they set it up for the rewards to go on 10 years. They're thinking long-term. It's not just a short-term project. You can tell that they're putting their thought into it with how we're doing these drops. 3 things within 3 months, within 3 weeks. That's wild to me. I've never seen that in any other crypto project.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same. And I mean, when Vlad obviously told me about these probably 3 weeks ago, I said, is there any news? He said, you can't let this out of the bag, but I'll tell you what it is. And I was like, shit, I need to like tell as many people as I can. I didn't, but I need, because in my head, I'm thinking, how big can this go? Like this is where we're like a baby bird at the minute, aren't we?
Yeah.
And this can be like a giant eagle, can't it? Like it can grow into this massive eagle. Mm-hmm. That's a majestic eagle in the sky, and we're just like this little chick at the minute. But every day, it's like I've been on projects before when they've gone like when news, when moon, and every day we're like, here's some news, boom. It's like it's insane.
Daily listing exchanges, daily roadmap projects, daily stuff that's not even on the roadmap. It's just daily news after news after news. It's all good news too.
Yeah, and it like you were saying then about it being planned. It's all like jigsaw pieces, isn't it? It's like, when you do a jigsaw, you do like the outside corners and that first, and then you start putting in the other pieces so that you can see like the full picture, the bigger picture. And I think a lot of people coming into the community, and don't get me wrong, there's tons of excitement, but they're only seeing one jigsaw piece. They're only focusing on that one piece. And of course, if you're looking at a piece, you'll only get a couple of colors and a little slight idea of what the bigger picture looks like. And I think that's what's happening, where people are going, okay, this sounds cool. I've read through the docs. It's going to be good. But then when they start looking at the art, they start looking at the incentives, they start looking at the community support. I mean, this, for example, we're investing time once or twice a week to be making sure that everyone is always up to speed with all of the information, and just for Vlad and the developers to put this on and say, I want to hire me and you so that we can come and we can share this information and keep everyone up to date. I mean, that's like in itself is a brilliant thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a team effort. Like it takes an all-star group, and I don't think there is any other project. There's a lot of great projects on Stellar, but I don't know a single one that's doing everything Lumenswap's doing.
Yep. And I think that, as I've said, we're going to be a flagship on the Stellar network.
Yeah.
We are really going to be, and that's like I said, that's not demeaning to any other Stellar project. Mm-hmm. But I think we've got that. We were speaking about it before on Sunday, and I said about seeing that T-shirt, and it said "Real is rare."
Yeah.
And we've got that realness where it's not a case of we're trying to knock anyone else's project down. We're not trying to kind of be sly about anything. We're just focused on building our thing out, building our ecosystem out, and just seeing where that road takes us, you know, onboarding the community that want to be part of it. Everyone's like, you know, excited about it. And, you know, someone said to me earlier on, oh, I think this feature's like being overhyped. And I thought, I'm going to stop and just do a little cheeky voice note. You know what I mean? I need to do a little cheeky voice note about this overhyped. I thought, what do people want us to do when we're so excited?
There's a lot of projects on Stellar, a lot of projects on Lobster, a lot of them not so great. There's some that are good projects, but I haven't seen any that are doing what Lumenswap's doing. If you can show me one, I'd love to see it, but we're one of a kind. You're right. Rare is real. Or real is rare.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it doesn't really matter which way you put it around, but like, I know what you mean. You know, it's a case of, you know, we're trying our level best to bring the information. You know, as soon as yesterday, as soon as like I was on the computer trying to refresh, waiting for the document drop, you know, for the lottery, so I could read the lot, I could record a video, and I was so excited, mate. You know, and I think this is like, my wife keeps saying to me, why are you always bouncing around at the minute? And I said, I just know where this is going. You know, I was so excited. I recorded a video, and then I was like, I'm gonna have to cam that. It just sounds, people know I'm excited anyway, like a bottle of pop. But like, you know, I did this video and I was like, nah, it's way too excited. I've got to scrap that video. I've got to re-record it a little bit calmer. Because I was just thinking to myself, all of the parts we're about to speak about, for me and you being in crypto for the years we've been in crypto, I just think, I know what could happen here. You know, I know what this feature could bring. And it's not a case of us like overhyping it without having anything on the back end, because I know the next feature, what's coming. And I've also been farming for like 12 months. So I know about the automated market makers. So when I think 1, 2, 3, what they could contribute to, I'm thinking this is going to blow up. Oh, you know, this is going to blow up. And I'm talking to no coiners. I'm talking to my wife. I'm talking to our friends, people coming in here into Lumenswap Lounge, the Ape-In, having a drink with me, you know, having a chat. And I'm like, listen, you need to be looking at this. I'm pulling up things on my screen. I'm talking them through it. I'm trying to get them into Stellar. You know, I'm doing incentives in my own private crypto group and saying, look, everyone do Lumenswap posts and this kind of stuff, because I've actually got it in me, like real bad, like a, you know, like some sort of contagion.
Yeah, we were talking about this off camera. There's a lot of people wanting instant gratification, wanting us to moon like after a day, want us to put out crazy things day after day, which we are doing. But if you look at our growth so far, we started off at what, 5 cents just a month and a half ago, and we're over 20 cents now. We already have a bull flag going, which is going to shoot us up as soon as this next leg comes in the bull run. And then we have the token burn mechanisms built into lottery, built into these NFT auctions. So we already have a 1 billion total supply. It's just going to go down from there.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, people are saying, well, hang on a second, it's not like affecting the supply. I think, again, it's that you talked about instant gratification, and it is about people with that short-term mentality. You know, I say to people, what I used to say to people when I was coaching people in business is exactly the same as what I'm saying now, which is 1 year and evaluate. You're not going to put in a load of hard yards, right, into your business. If it's a traditional bricks and mortar business, you're not going to put in like 2-3 months of hard yards and expect the rewards or the income to be coming after 3 months. You're literally just getting that bad boy off the ground, aren't you?
You got plenty.
You know, you've got to look at it like a plane. You know, at the moment, we are here on the runway on the plane, right, waiting to take off, and then they put all the hammers down, right, the engines roar, the plane trundles along the runway, and then it gives it everything to get it airborne. And then it goes up and up and up and up and up. And then it goes into this like kind of cruise thing. And like, you know, we're at this incredible point where, you know, people want to be in the cruise before they've actually put the hammer down. You know, and I'm thinking like, you've actually got to put the hammer down, and we're putting the hammer down. I mean, these like kind of the marketing, when Vlad says we're going heavy on marketing, I was thinking, okay, you know, heavy, what does that mean? And then he like emails, what's your email address? And I'm like, that's weird. I said, what do you want that for? You know, like, do you want it to like put into some sort of program thing, or do you want it because you're going to send me something, or, you know, what's the deal? And he was like, I'm organizing for you to have this interview And I was thinking, so the guy is like 100% legit when he says, I want to be getting the articles out, the information out, I want to be, helping the community. Every time I've kind of even remotely gone, I'm not sure, he's like doubled down on what I've questioned. I think this is insane. So anyone that's looking kind of short term in the space of the next 2-3 weeks, I would say go 1 year from now. If you can hold your assets for 1 year, then look back and see where you are.
And if you're in a 10K holder club during that whole year, you're just going to get passive income month after month. It's just going to keep compounding. Then when the AMMs come, you can just go ahead and throw some of it in there into a liquidity pool of your stellar. It's just going to keep on coming back. It's like you got to plant the seeds. That tree's going to grow. There's going to be fruit coming out of trees. You're going to eat the fruit. More fruit's going to come, and you're just going to keep eating.
And then you're going to dash the seeds of the fruit on the floor. They're going to grow into trees. Mm-hmm. And those trees are going to have more fruit. And then you'll be able to give your fruit to your friends and your family. They're going to throw out the seeds. They're going to get the trees. And when they say money doesn't grow on trees, yeah, it absolutely does. It absolutely does like this, because if you've got, I was thinking to myself today, okay, what's going to be my play here? What's going to be my strategy? How am I going to go about this? Because I know about the farming. I'm going to go heavy on the farming, which is going to give me the LSP rewards every day. I'm going to take them rewards. I'm putting some into my wife's stack. She's a stacker, so she's going to be just taking the 10K rewards off the table every month, as you said. So I'll go, here you go, here's some more, put them in your pot, So her return is going to keep growing. And I think, okay, I also want to get some of that return. I'm going to put some of it into the lottery and some into incentives for friends, because I want to be helping some friends out. And I see that the token price is going to start going up, like you said, into the next leg after this bull flag. And, I think to myself, okay, there's so many things, but then I know the next thing coming. And I think when I get some of that, I need to make sure that I leave some for that. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking what is the best play here? Because in a lot of farming ventures, and a lot of the automated market makers, it's take the reward, sell it out, put it into something else. But there's going to be a whole collection of different things to suit different people within Lumenswap that we can use.
And then I look at the market cap, and we still have a crazy low market cap.
Yeah,
the sky's the limit. I think after these burns, you're going to have to reevaluate that video you made. We're at 3 billion market cap. We're at $10 because it's going to be even sooner than that. And with the token burns.
Yeah, well, this is it. I think there's so much for us to talk about. There's literally just so much. If the first ever lottery on Stellar catches on, and why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it when it's going to be accessible to everyone? Especially when someone wins the first prize. Can you imagine?
I know, it's crazy. I've played lottery a lot. I've never won it. I don't know anybody who's won it. With this, it's decentralized. They can't rig it. They can't make it to where a certain person wins. It's all on Stellar's network. You can look at the transaction ID. It's completely fair and transparent. You can see exactly who gets a prize, where it's going to, and the transaction hash that was supposed to win it, that it got it.
Well, you can then track the winnings as well. So you can make sure, when you're talking about that, you can make sure that the winning prize is going to be sent to the right address, and what that person then does with that winning prize. And it's going to be pretty incredible, because there's going to be people like you and I who love crypto, and we'll be splashing out a few tickets. But going back to our earlier point, we're splashing out a few tickets, maybe $5 here, $10 there, that kind of thing, as we're heading down, knowing the $5, which at the moment is what, 25 LSP, right? That 25 LSP is taken off that max supply. And as that's happening, that's just me and you. That's just us two that are just going, yeah, come on, we'll chuck in a few, have a few lottery tickets every every time that we get a return or every time that we fancy just splashing a few in. This is going to be times however many people are buying the lottery tickets. So that 25 is 50, 100, 1,000. And every time there's a lottery, it's just going to keep pulling it back in, this supply, pulling it back in. And then we're going to start seeing that go down from like 999 million, 998, 997. And they're just going to keep coming down and down. And there's going to be the tokens that are all locked in the 10K holders. They're going to say, we're never letting these go because we've got 10-year rewards.
It's like precious, it's like gold.
And yeah, and then you've got the people that are going to be in the liquidity pools, which are going to be locking there. So when you take them out and you take them out and you take these out, you've got a lot of tokens that are either locked or burnt. And then there's only the rest that is like the circulating supply. So at some point, there's going to be a tipping point where the community grows to a certain point using these new features, the NFT stuff, the lottery, the new feature, the farming, the incubator, the lending, the swap, everything. They're going to keep bringing people in. And as the community keeps growing and they keep partaking in more lottery tickets and more liquidity pools and that, we're going to get this point where there's going to be a squeeze on the supply.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that can happen then, which is price shock. Yeah.
Supply shock. That's exactly what's going to happen. At a certain point, nobody's going to want to sell because there's too much utility in the token for anybody to even want to sell. You'll get
I just at the minute when we're talking about like the long term, 1 year and evaluate, I wouldn't even. I would feel so gutted because like you said about 6 weeks ago or something at those. I mean, the whole of September was about 5-6 cents, somewhere in that region. And then in October, we had these crazy 8 days where we went from like 5 cents up to 25 cents. It was like 300-400% gains in the space of like 8 days. Then we've managed, and it's really crazy because we've managed to stabilize at this price point, even though there's been a heck of a lot of marketing sells. Right, so the marketing wallet, for you people that don't know, that can sell 25 million tokens every 3 months across the space of 1 year. Now, this is sold on the open market, so this sell pressure has an impact on the price. But we've still held at this point of 20 plus cents for the whole time since we went over it. There wasn't this like kind of massive retracement all the way back down again from that pump. We've gone up to like a price point that I think kind of is beneath where we need to be. And it's just going to take that trigger before, like you said, we move back up again. And God only knows where we're going to end up in the next pump up.
Yeah. And then next month, we also take out the trader rewards. So the incentive for trading goes away. I mean, now is the point where you want to use the utility of the token inside of Lumenswap, inside the network. You want to use it for the lottery. You want to use it for the raffles. You want to use it for liquidity pools and a 10K holder club. There's plenty of ways to use it to make more LSP.
Yeah, and it's like a circular economy, really, isn't it? Where you got to get rewards and you can put them into something else, and then that will pay out, and you can take it round again and again. And I mean, if you were just saying then about 3 billion market cap and $10 per LSP. When we're holding our stack now, we're thinking that's like 22, 23 cents. In that region, we're holding it and thinking if this 22, 23 cents can even turn into $1, there's going to be a lot of people's lives changed.
Oh yeah,
and that's $1. And then that thing goes to $5. And we were just talking about our daughters, before we came on air. And saying, and we've talked about this before, I know, but it's a great topic that we always we enjoy talking about and saying how we can build out, a future for our kids and teaching them about crypto education and that. And this is going to give us the time, right? This is going to give us the time because we're not going to have to go to the day job. We're going to be able to, teach our kids certain things that they're not going to be able to necessarily get from us if we're stuck in a 9 to 5 kind of job. Right. And they're going to be secure for the rest of their lives.
It'll create generational wealth. It'll break, and you're right, it'll break the chains of having to be stuck in 9 to 5. You'll actually get the best resource of all, which is your time. There's no amount of money that in the world that can buy your time back. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we can get more money, but we can't get more time.
never.
And working on the ambulance service for, I was on the ambulance service for 10 years, right, dealing with frontline medical emergencies. And you were getting all sorts of different jobs. You were getting jobs where a mum would go out to get some, takeaway food or something, and then she'd get hit by a car. That's it. She's gone out to get the kids food, and that's her dead. And so then it kind of teaches you for that 10 years that you need to live every life like it's every day, like it's your last.
Tomorrow's
And
never.
I always look at my kids and think, what can I do to create like that better life and, do as best as I possibly can with my integrity and honesty and energy for people. And if you've not got any money to give to someone, give them some energy, give them a smile, that kind of mentality. And I look and think this project, and people all go, this dude's hyping again or whatever. But this project for me is like the future ticket. It's like, the Willy Wonka golden ticket that you've been given.
Yeah.
And I just think every time I look at it, I just think, oh my God, this is like not just for me, but this is for all my loved ones as well.
Yeah. It's definitely life-changing. I mean, just imagine going to $1 and getting those passive incomes every single month for 10 years, compounding.
Well, just, it goes to $1. That's like $10,000 minimum you've got locked in.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people now, and they're accumulating a couple of hundred here and, 1,000 there. They're trying to add to their stack. These that are worth 20 cents now, if it goes to 5, and that's very modest to say $1.
Yeah, we're definitely putting the threshold really low, because with this mechanism, I'll to 15, 20, 25 bucks easily, depending on how many tokens are burned. Because if it keeps going, we could get to eventually half the supply, 500 million supply.
Well, what we don't know is, and this is something that I haven't been told, is what's going on in the next stage.
Right.
I know what the feature is, but I don't know the mechanisms or mechanics, if that makes sense. I don't know the mechanics of how it's going to work. And I'm a little bit, we're still both waiting for the mechanics of the lottery, even though we know, like you said, about how it's going to work with hashes and everything. We don't know how the ticket sales is going to differ month to month.
Right.
Yeah. I do think that, there's going to take a couple of months for us to get it right, to iron out the creases, to make sure that we're listening to the community and we're feeding that back, and we can try and tweak some changes if possible. But yeah, I mean, like you say, I mean, if it can be pulled down, if it's a really popular lottery, if it's really popular and we can bring people from other networks and people are like, hell, I'm going in. I'm having $500 worth. I'm having $100 worth. I'm having $1,000 worth. I'm having $10 worth, $2 worth. Like people would do on a normal lottery.
When I was reading through the article, I really liked the fact that they mentioned they're going to keep the prices affordable, reasonable, so that everyday people can go ahead and throw into it. They did also mention about the whales. They can go in, get as many as they want, but it's still going to be a fair system. Anybody can win it.
I think that to me was like a big draw as well. When I spoke to Vlad, and Vlad said to me, I said, how much the lottery ticket's going to be? And he says, we're going to be all inclusive. I said, what do you mean by that? And he was like, well, anyone around the world is going to be able to take part. So that's, thinking about developing nations. I've done a lot of work. Those people that follow my Boring Crypto will see, I've built houses for street families, in Philippines, and I've done all sorts of bits and pieces. I always like to try and give as much as I possibly can. So for me, that's a big thing. If we've got the developing nations, African nations, subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, should I say, nations out in Asia, and places around the world, South America, etc., that can, their people can come in and they can take part in this, because Stella's about cross-border. It's very big, and trying to reach out to as many people in different areas so that they can transact value. And we're trying to do the same, but we're bringing the lottery to those people. I mean, I just want someone who's on their ass to win it.
Right.
You know, I
Yeah,
want that. I want that. I mean, in terms of marketing, and I love marketing and different ideas, but in terms of marketing, you know, some little old deer that's in the backwaters of bloody wherever, you know, in some kind of like, you know, pretty basic home, and she's like just smashed out a couple of Bitcoin value prize. Yeah, it's going to be like, it would just be mind blowing, wouldn't it?
It's life changing, especially. I don't know if I can mention what the prize is, but even the very first prize is crazy, and it's just going to go up in value from there. I mean, eventually we may be putting homes on there. There's no telling where the limit go.
Well, exactly that as well. I think that, you know, we don't know. We have a set amount of tokens in the foundation, right? 16% of our total supply. So let's just use the 1 billion. 16%. So that's 160 million tokens, right?
Yeah.
Now, 160 million tokens is like, so it's 1/5 of the minute. So we're looking at around about $3 million in that pot. Yeah. So because it's 20 cents. Yeah. Let's just say that. Well, what happens if that bugger goes up right up to $5?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If it goes up to $5, like we're talking that's going to be $500 million.
And it doesn't have to be one prize. I'm sure in the future there'll be multiple prizes. There may be 10 prizes. Like, there's no telling where we can go with this.
Well, like you said, it could be a holiday. I mean, with that sort of money, I mean, you could throw, you know, $250,000 or, you know, $500,000 into the prize when it starts going that big, and it doesn't even like touch, you know, the big pot. It doesn't make a big difference to it. It's crazy. So then you start going up in, and of course, as you're going up in more elaborate prizes, that's going to attract a lot more people who are thinking, hang on a second. I mean, I know, just to give the example of the lotto, before people say, oh, he's overhyping the lotto here. We have a lotto, right, which is just a regular lottery in the UK. And that is like, I don't know, maybe £258 million, right? And they do this lottery. I think it's like once a week now. It used to be a couple of times a week. But then they brought in this Euro Millions. So this is like the whole of Europe is involved in it. And this prize is like, has been over 100 million. And it's crazy because everyone's like, this time it's a rollover. So it's like 160 million or something. And everyone's like, right, I'm getting my wallet out. It's 160 million. I've got to be in for a shout. So they will go out and buy when they probably wouldn't normally buy tickets, because the price, their interpretation of the lottery has changed because the prizes have gone spectacularly high, and they think, look, you've got to be in it to win it. I'll have a £10, you know, lottery ticket this week. Right. So what you were saying there about, you know, whether it's a home or whatever it's going to be in the future, I mean, it's just, for me, it's just mind bending what you could do with it. It could have cash prizes. You could have, should we tell them what it is?
We might as well go ahead and tell it. It's coming out tomorrow, so
you tell it. And then if Vlad's going to kill anyone, he can kill you, not me.
Yeah. I'll take the blame for this one, Vlad. All right, so the prize for the first raffle is going to be a brand new Tesla. Just imagine being able to get in, winning this lottery, getting a new Tesla. You don't even have to drive it. It drives itself. You can just put in where you want it to go. You don't have to put in any gas. Just plug it in and it's good to go. How much better does that get?
When I saw it, mate, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I looked when he sent me the picture. I looked and was like, oh my God, you're giving away a Model S Tesla at like well over $100,000.
It's not even the entry level Tesla. It's the S. That motherfucker's fast too. Like, it goes 0 to 60 in like no time.
I took my wife out for a meal, maybe a month or just at the end of the summer, and someone pulled up in one. Right, we were sat outside, like on the little balcony, and We were just having ourselves a drink. And this, the woman who owned the restaurant came out. She was just talking to my wife and I. And this dude pulls up in one, right? And he gets out and he's coming into it for some food as well with his wife. And the doors are all open, right, on the car. And then the woman who owned the restaurant went over to shouted over, and you've left your doors open. He said, no, they just close themselves. And I was like, what? You haven't even got to like do anything with the car doors. As soon as you're out, it will close it. And then I started saying to him, oh, that's a machine. And he said the same as you. I think it's like 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it's about this thing. I don't know how much he said it weighed. It was like an extreme amount in terms of weight to do that speed. But he said inside it's all like internet connectivity, and it just does everything. You ain't even got to think.
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw a video like somebody went to a grocery store. They parked the car, went in, got their groceries. They came outside. They just pushed a button on the Tesla app. It came out all by itself and went around and picked them right up. It was amazing.
That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, the way things are going, I mean, we talk about this like kind of art and this revolution that we're going to be part of. And this is like cutting edge. I mean, those guys that are doing, say, this stuff, they're saying now to have this stuff on screens and these hands and, these kind of video spinning and 3D stuff, but then we're talking about cars, and how there's going to be elements of cars on the blockchain. The auto industry on the blockchain, right? There's going to be elements of that are going to be integrated as well. The blockchain is just going to explode, isn't it, across the whole world over the next few years. And all of us are positioned in different places in it. It's going to be just incredible. But the prize, just so that people understand what we're talking about here, the prize is this Tesla. But because we've been looking and Tesla isn't available in every country, right? It's not available in every country you are around the world. So what we've had to do is we've had to rejig it a little bit. We've looked at the pricing. You're going to get the money for the Tesla, but you're going to get paid out that in money, right? We've done it so that you can obviously just go and buy straight away and buy the Tesla. That's what it's intended for. But if you're in, say, a developing nation and you win, and the Tesla's not in your nation, then you're going to be like, well, how am I going to get it here? And it's not feasible for us to be saying, well, we'll buy it in the US or the UK, and then we're going to get it in a shipping container, then we're going to send it to, and we're going to do the port thing, and it's not feasible. So then you would have the cash and you would go off and get the car. So you might say, well, I don't want the Tesla, but I'll tell you what I will have. I'll have myself a Porsche Panamera, or a Range Rover or whatever you want to drive, right? You can have that. But it's designed for the Tesla, which is approximately, I think, just over 2 Bitcoins worth, around 2 Bitcoins, something like that in value. So you're going to be getting an absolute crap ton of value. I know there'll be someone watching this though going, what do you mean you don't deliver it in person? They're going to FUD, aren't they? They'll FUD because I won't be there to deliver it in person. But this is an over $100,000 prize to start us off.
It's a crazy prize. And then it's also going to bring value of all the people rushing into it, trying to win this Tesla. A lot of LSP is going to be burnt. That LSP will never be in circulation again. It's just not coming back.
Yeah, well, as soon as it goes into that asset issuer address, it's gone, right? That's it.
Just imagine, do the math. We're at about, let's say we're about 20 cents right now. Divide that by, let's go modest, 100,000.
I'm celebrating tonight, by the way. This is on my second beer.
That's 5 million LSP.
What?
Yeah.
5 million.
Yep.
So we've got 990 something million at the minute. So, I'm absolutely, and I'm very rarely lost for words, but I'm lost for words with this.
That's if we sell as many LSP as even under the retail value, because I'm pretty sure it's over 100,000. That's at 100,000 at 20 cents per LSP. 5 million.
Gee. it's just madness. It's just madness, right? And for me, it's like every time, these are going to be happening. I think Vlad said every couple of weeks to every month. So they're going to be knocking out these prizes, like this. It's just going to be incredible. And again, it doesn't say. I mean, it doesn't actually say that there's going to be a time frame, right? So when people say it's unsustainable over the next 10 years, it doesn't say it's going to happen for 10 years.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. It's going to happen for as long as the project want to keep running it.
There may be intermittent too. It may be intermittent too. We may have it this month, then have a couple month break, and then bring it back just to keep it fresh. I mean, it's up to community. It depends on how much they're willing to put into it. We're going to come back with that same effort and put in the same effort right back.
Yeah, I think that what would be a really cool thing, while we're just talking about community and intermittent rewards and that kind of thing, we were talking about it in the community marketing group earlier on, and someone came up with the idea. I think it might have been Winetooth. Oh, big up Winetooth, by the way.
Shout out Winetooth.
Yeah, how you doing, Jack? I hope you're doing well. There's so many people we need to keep saying hello to. But yeah, he came up with an idea that was, it would be good for the first time to have a lottery that the prize just was evenly distributed according to the amount of tickets you bought. So if you bought the tickets, then the whole prize stack was just like paid out. And I think there's definitely something in that, right? Yeah. Definitely something in that. But I think it would be good as like a one-off Christmas bonus, for all of the people holding like LSP at Christmas, if they were to take some kind of action, some kind of thing. I don't know what it would be, but if they did some kind of action, there would be a pot, and it would just get like the 10K rewards. It gets dispersed on the 28th, to all the different wallets.
Kind of be like a Secret Santa thing. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really
sign
good.
up, get a random LSP address that you sent something to. They sent it back. That would be pretty cool.
Or everyone that signs up gets an address, and it's like a round robin. So you get an address, and you can send them any amount between, like, say, 1 and 100, or so it's a lot of people can take part, and then you can send that person, and then that person, so you have no idea who's actually sent you. It's just a random address that sent you like some little Christmas gift or something, and you've done something nice for someone else, and you might get more, but you might get less. But the whole spirit is that you're giving.
You could even put a memo in it. You can put a little personalized memo saying Merry Christmas, hope you have a good holiday, whatever you want in the memo.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good, I like it. I'm always for cool ideas like that. And I think some of the things we can run from like the community side, if it's not taken on board by the dev side, we can say, right, let's try and do something, that's going to be really fun and engaging for the community. And that's us. I mean, that's what we do. Every day we're like, okay, well, how can we bring more value to the community? How can we answer more questions? How can we do, the job that we're doing a little bit better, make it a little bit sharper? So yeah, that's definitely something. Okay, talk to me about your views around this stellar network farming. What I mean by that is that, both of us have done like yield farming in the past, and, we've had the network, we've had so if this is the network, then you have like, say, Uniswap or PancakeSwap sat on the top of it, and then you have to, engage with the platform. Well, this is the first time that the automated market maker is actually built into the network with Stellar. Every other time it's been here, at the other additional layer two. Yeah. So I mean, because I've never experienced it before. What's your thoughts? Are you super excited about it?
I am super excited about it. It's just we're at the ground level floor. it can only go up from here. And if you're in it whenever it first starts, you're an architect of AMMs on the Stellar network. And it's just crazy that it's going to be able to find any pair, and you're going to be able to benefit by putting your staking it into a liquidity pool. You're going to get the fees from it. And that's going to keep.
I think that's, to me, I was trying to calculate in my brain. I was thinking, okay, how's this working? You know, I was thinking that the system of like the 0.3 is very different to the LSP reward. And this is what you guys out there have got to kind of understand, is that when you stake into the network and you're putting your liquidity in, you're getting your 0.3%. So you're getting your network fees. And those fees are coming from people. Let's use LSP and XLM. Those people that are transacting on the swap with those two on the automated market maker between them. So every time you sell 100 XLM for LSP or sell 100 LSP for XLM or whatever volume it is, it doesn't make any difference. There's a 0.3% fee attached. That 0.3% is taken off you, and then that is spread out as a reward to everyone that's providing the assets to allow you to do that. So if it's like 100 LSP, it's not going to be anything. But imagine people are going to start coming in now with like lottery wins. Yeah, they're going to be change. I mean, you know, we hope that they're sensible with their lottery win and they buy their car. But the chances are that they probably think, I'm going to have myself a new wardrobe as well.
Right.
And they're going to sell some of it, and they're going to use those. And then when they're swapping those assets, you're getting the 0.3, right? But the coolest thing is that Lumenswap are also doubling up on the reward.
And they could be sensible and be putting more into LSP so that they can keep on getting that passive income every month. That's just another fee that's going to come in.
This is what I'm getting at, because the prize is going to be XLM. Am I right?
Yeah, that's how I understood it. The last prize for the iPhone was paid out to the winner in XLN. I don't see why this one wouldn't be.
So it's going to be if it's going to be XLM, that is, then they could. I mean, I would say it's very sensible to be putting some of your win back into LSP. You know, it's very sensible. So they might use the automated market maker to do that. And if they're doing that, then that's going to be 0.3% of that trade is going to be shared out with everyone putting liquidity in. And then there's going to be everyone else that's trading, you know, blah, blah, blah. I think, for me, the vast majority of people are going to be using the automated market maker. You know, if I go over to Binance Smart Chain now, I'm just going straight onto Pancake and I'm just going to swap. Yeah, I'm using their automated market maker. I'm not using any other kind of fandangle way. I'm going to go onto one of the different AMMs on that network and I'm swapping there. I'm not messing about going and trying to swap BNB for Cake on Binance. I ain't going to the centralized exchanges. I'm going and swapping.
It's easy. It's easier that way.
So much easier.
You get to keep control of the asset while you get it swapped. And you get the fees. So,
well, you take out the counterparty, don't you? You take out having to trust that third party. You know, you're not having to think, oh, I've got to trust Binance with my assets. I've got to send him to Binance. I've got to change in that Binance. I've got to or any other exchange and come back out. You can literally be there and say, right, I'm just going to swap within Lumenswap. I'm going to swap them. Every time they're swapping, if you're in that pool, 0.3% shared out amongst all the liquidity providers. So but then you've got the Lumenswap LSP, and when I said doubling up, don't take that literally. It's way more than double. You're going to get this extra bonus for putting in and providing LSP as a liquidity pool token, right? If it's whoever it's paired with, I believe it's going to be XLM. I believe, right? But I may be wrong. If it's going to be XLM, LSP, and you're providing into that pool, then you are going to be rewarded by Lumenswap. Even though you're putting it into the network, you're not putting it into Lumenswap, you're putting it into the network, you're going to be rewarded for the fees, 0.3, and the LSP.
It just makes sense. I mean, just keep getting rewards on rewards on rewards, and they keep on compounding. Eventually, like you said earlier, there's going to be a supply shock. nobody's going to want to sell it when they keep on getting rewards. It's going to be harder to get into the 10K club. It's going to be harder to get a whole bunch of LSP whenever the price is $10. So you may as well take advantage while it's still 20 cents, because it's not going to stay that way for long.
Yeah, I'm singing the same hymn. I'm singing. I think when you start getting, I mean, even like say when you get to 50 cents, right? We get up to 50 cents. At the minute, it's out of reach for a lot of people at like $2,000, $2,200 entrance. So out of reach. But then you get to like say 50 cents, it's $5,000. Now, if we take the generalized mainstream media figures, I think the vast majority of Americans have got like less than $600 in their bank. Right, so I'm just using America as an example. I have got no idea in England; it's probably the same, right? But if they got less, so they're not going to have $5,000 to wang into crypto. So this is a great time now to be thinking, okay, if I can get into that 2,210K club, this is a time because things are going to be moving, and when they move, when it gets to $1, it's out of reach of probably 90+% of people because it's $10,000.
Yeah.
And who's going to have $10,000 knocking around that they're willing to put into crypto and leave for 10 years?
And it's just going to get more and more valuable the more tokens that get burnt.
The more that get burned, and also the more that you're getting rewards every month for the 10K club.
Because I'm not
the more that you're going to be getting, the more you're going to be getting in. If let's just say this month it's 1.6%. I think it'll be less, but around about 1.6. If you've got 10,000 tokens, that's going to be 160 tokens, right? You've got 160 tokens now at 20 cents, right? So that's what your reward is. But then, if it goes up to $1, you're getting 160 tokens at $1. So you're getting $160 interest a month. And if you've held the tokens from when they were 20 cents, you're getting the dollar value on the ones that you've already had, aren't you? So the interest you've already had is appreciating, and the interest you're getting is worth more.
Yep. And there's going to be people who get out of the 10K holder club. They're going to have a hard time getting back in it as well. I mean, the longer it's a 10-year program, I can only imagine what we're going to be even in 2, 3, 5 years, let alone 10 years. 10 years is like 100 years in crypto.
Well, I mean, look at what's happened in 10 years. In the last 10 years, I mean, Bitcoin was like 0.000 whatever it was, wasn't it? 10 years ago, it was worthless. I mean, they were doing, was it 2 pizzas for 50,000 Bitcoins, wasn't it? Or 10,000 or something. I can't remember the exact figure.
Must have been a great pizza.
yeah. And I mean, imagine now, I mean, that guy that did that, I mean, it's one of them famous memes, isn't it? But, I mean, you think in 10 years' time, I mean, you're getting nation states now saying, we're going to have Bitcoin as a reserve currency after just it's 12 years, isn't it? It's 13 years in January since 22 to 2009. Yeah, since we had the Genesis block of Bitcoin. So in 10 years ago, worth very, very little. So you think in 10 years' time, what could be the price? I mean, crypto could change dramatically in that time, depending on what happens on the landscape. But
definitely,
it could be like, we are only dealing in crypto then, and all of the fiat currencies are dead.
Right. Yeah. It's already a $2 trillion asset. Warren Buffett, the greatest investor, he said anytime an asset gets over 1 billion, it's here for good. It's not going anywhere. We're already over 2 trillion, and we're just going up. You can see the innovation. Every week, every day, honestly, you see Stellar coming out with new partnerships with high level financial companies. You see the CBDCs coming out that are partnering, like in Ukraine and with Akon City and all these crazy partnerships. And we're the flagship token on Stellar for AMMs and the premier DEX. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think that it summarizes everything that we've been talking about for everyone. We're really excited. We're going to be, by the time that you are listening to this, the chances are that you'll be able to buy tickets, right? You'll be able to buy tickets for the lottery. And I think Glogeta has just nailed that in terms of what Stellar are doing and the fact that Stellar are doing it, so we're along for the ride. You know, we get there fast, network speed, super low gas, everything as like kind of standard in our operations, which is amazing, which is fantastic. And if we're not the biggest, and it's not a measuring competition here, if we're not the biggest, we're going to be one of the biggest players. It's a little bit like, you've got Venus and Pancake Swap and Auto Farm, and you can go Pancake Bunny back in the day, and all these others that are on Binance Smart Chain. Who really cares if you have the title? It's a case of they're all going to be growing like this, and we're going to be doing the same on Stellar. As the liquidity comes in, everything's going to be growing, and we're going to be looking left and right, and projects are going to be succeeding. It's going to be an amazing, amazing journey.
Yeah, you said it right there. We're at the beginning stages. You can see that everything's lining up for a crazy end of the year. Yeah,
indeed. Glogeta, Harley, as always, mate, it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure to speak to you, and I'm really looking forward to, because Sunday shows. Oh, I forgot to show you. I've had some more posters done. So we've got the Halloween poster, right?
Have you picked out a Halloween costume yet?
No, not yet. We've got episode 8, which is Sunday, and we've got Gorgeous Jen is back with us, but you'll notice Sir Cheesley is missing, right? He's put his triangle here for us, but he's actually missing because he's in Disney World with his wife. It's her birthday, so happy birthday to Sir Cheesley's wife. And I've got the posters that we're going to be putting up in the Lumenswap Lounge with the NFT stuff. So it's going to be a great show on Sunday. Please join us. 1400 Eastern Standard Time. That's 1300 Central Time, right? Yep. And that is 1900 for the UK followers, and 2000 if you are in Central Europe time. So we'll be doing that live. We'll be doing it on Bullring Crypto's channel, as always, which is my channel. And we're going to have, the feedback from the community. It's going to be a live show. You can ask us your questions. We'll be doing questions and answers. We'll be doing a lot of cool stuff. Thank you once again to Harley. Thank you to Vlad for all the stuff that you guys do. George for all the editing work you've just done on the website, and everyone else that's involved in Lumenswap. It's an absolute honor and a pleasure to work with you all. Take care and good night.
Good night.